This was me about 6 months ago at my heaviest I've ever been at around 201 pounds. And this is me right now, 6 months later, at about 180 pounds. So you may be thinking, wow, 20-pound weight loss? That's not bad at all. Good job. Yeah, it would be, except it's been 6 months. So as general knowledge, in order to lose weight, you eat a calorie deficit, right? You burn more calories than you eat. And as a result, you're more tired, you have less energy to go train, especially those leg days. Can't forget about the leg days. So I'd like you to ask me, Marshall, if being in a deficit is so exhausting like you say it is, then why have you been in one for 6 months? Well, let me tell you. So the first mistake that I made is I cut the calories too much, too fast. Like way too much, too fast. I was eating about 4,000 calories on my peak bulk, and then I cut them to about 2,900. Yeah, that is a lot. Not only will your body have to adjust incredibly to that, that could lead to binge eating, that could lead to just gaining weight again and eating in a surplus once again, which defeats the entire purpose of the cut. But also for me at least, what happened is that my strength plummeted. On my bench, deadlift, and squat, they all shot down in a week. Like for instance, this is me hitting 225. I hit it about 6 months into my training, and now my max when I started cutting was like 205. It jumped down an incredibly amount. So what ended up happening was that I was like, oh no, my strength is going down. So I started eating a little bit. Like I ate more. I didn't eat 4,000 calories, but I ate above my maintenance, which was not what I wanted to do. And yes, my strength did go up a little bit, and I was happy. And I did that for about a month, but then that's a month of eating above maintenance, so you're not gonna lose any fat. So instead, what I recommend doing is you find your maintenance. You can find your maintenance by going to a website called Maintenance Calculator, and you plug in your height, your weight, your gender, how intense you train, and it'll give you a rough estimate on how much your maintenance is. It's not gonna be 100% accurate, nothing's ever 100% accurate, but I would eat around that range and you should be good. So what you can do is you can eat at those calories, and then in about a week, if your weight goes up, if it goes down, whatever it is, if it goes up, you're eating too much. If it goes down, you're eating too little, or if it stays around the same, then you're doing good. And I'd recommend staying on your maintenance a couple weeks and then cut your calories by like a couple hundred. That's it. And then adjust to that because your body needs time. You got to increment it down, increment the calories, because if you go from eating 4,000 to 2,900, you are going to crash. And the second mistake that I did was I did not count my calories. Now I know counting calories can be tedious, it can be annoying, it can be very, it can't be sustainable because it's just so picky. Like, oh, I gotta find out how much one blackberry weighs. And I agree. That's why I didn't count my calories, because I thought it was gonna be too annoying. I thought it was gonna be way too much work, way too much effort, too tedious, and I just didn't even give it a try. But I'm telling you, it is crucial that you do. And then the more you do it, the more you'll be able to just eyeball stuff. Be like, oh, this is about 50 grams, this is about 20 milliliters, whatever it is. And also another thing that really helped me with my diet is that I just looked up low protein, high calorie diet. Yep, that's in a voice crack. High protein, low calorie recipes. There are hundreds of recipes out there. There are cookbooks about it, there's everything about it, and they tell you the exact calories that's in it, the protein, the fat, the carbs, all the macros. They tell you everything that's in it, and all you gotta do is take your food scale for like 10 bucks on Amazon. They're very cheap. You take your food scale and you just measure it out. That's all you gotta do. It is very simple, and if you follow it correctly, you will have a good, filling, healthy meal. And also on a side note, you can't forget about your micronutrients. You should also, every meal you have, you should incorporate some veggies, some healthy fats like salmon and fruit. Thank you. So when you train, especially when you're on a cut, you wanna make sure that your intensity at the gym does not change. Your diet may change, your calories may change, but how hard you go at the gym should not change at all, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be building muscle, you're just going to be losing fat, and you want to maintain that muscle. And that brings me to my third mistake, was that I overtrained a lot. I was at the gym for like 3 hours. I was making sure I was hitting the lower lat, the mid lat, the upper lat, the muscle groups that didn't even exist, the tibia, whatever it is. I was so hyper focused on making sure that I wasn't going to lose any muscle through this cut that I just spent way too long at the gym. Because here's the thing, there is ineffective volume and then there is effective volume. The ineffective volume is just going to be the filler stuff that isn't really going to contribute to your muscle at all. The basics work, so you don't need to overcomplicate your workout, but as long as you're going hard to failure or close to failure, you will keep muscle. I promise. And speaking of training, today I back and chest, so I'm going to take you guys through my back and chest workout, what I do, my favorite exercises, and any recommendations that I have for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the car and I'll talk to you guys more about it. So when it comes to training in general, no matter what body part I'm doing, I always make sure to train to or close to failure. And the reason for that is because let's just say I'm doing curls, right? I'm doing curls and I do 12 reps. 12 reps is a good rep amount for a set. But then if on that 12th rep, I'm going like that, sure it's hard, but it's not like burning yet, right? And I'm like, okay, that's good. That was a worthless set. I just wasted my time, because the only way your muscle grows is it has to work, right? Basically, your brain is like, oh crap, we can't lift this weight. We gotta adapt, we gotta build the muscle. So if you're, by like you say, okay, I'm gonna do 3 sets and 12 to 15 reps. But if those 12 to 15 reps aren't anywhere close to failure, there is no point in doing that set. Every set you do doesn't have to be to failure, but it has to be very, very close to failure, because that is the only way that you'll build muscle. And if you don't, you're wasting your time. But I'm more specifically, like I'm doing today, is back and chest. When it comes to back and chest, I start out with a compound, right? For back and chest, for chest, it's bench press. It's flat barbell bench press. When it comes to growing your back, you want thickness and you want width. And now, personally for me, is I don't really see a point in doing like, oh, this day I'm gonna do upper back and this day I'm gonna do more lat focus. Because if I'm training the back, I'm just gonna do the entire back, and I don't really see a point in separating 2 days. So I kind of intermingle. I do upper back and I do lats with a mix of thickness and width. So I just do pull downs, rows, and then this one machine where you kind of go like this, you kind of go up, and maybe some shrugs. But that's it for back. You don't need to overcomplicate it. But that being said, we're about 10 minutes away from the gym, so I'm gonna go in there and I'll talk more about it. So when it comes to any compound lift, like the bench, deadlift, or squat, I'd always recommend you warm up first, whether that be with the bar or any weight, depending on what's light for you. And I'd recommend doing about 3 warm-up sets before you get into your actual working set, because that way, if you don't, that could lead to injury, and we don't want that. So what I recommend doing is I just did the bar for my bench press, and then I'm putting on 95, and then I'm gonna do 135, and then get in my working set. You don't want to do too many reps because you don't want to get burned out for your set. So I'd recommend doing maybe like 8 reps with the first warm-up set, and then go down to like 4, and then maybe 2 or 3, and then get the working set. So something I've recently been doing when it comes to my bench press is I've been incorporating pause reps instead of touch and go, because what I've felt is that, first of all, you gotta go way lighter on pause than you can on touch and go. It makes the lift a lot harder, and I personally feel it a lot more in my chest, because what happens is when you go down and you touch and go, you have something called a stretch reflex in your muscles. So like when you go down and you just touch and go like that, even if you don't bounce it, the muscles naturally have a stretch reflex. So if you pause it for like a second and then you explode up, that stretch reflex is completely gone, and you're left with just purely your chest just pushing it up. It makes the weight a lot heavier, makes it a lot harder. Like I do 175 for 6 to 8 touch and go, and now I'm doing 155 on pause. So leave your ego at the door, doesn't matter. Incline dumbbell press, and I prefer this over the barbell because I feel like with dumbbells I can get a lot better stretch at the bottom of the movement, and this also allows me for a greater range of motion than the barbell can. So I'm just gonna do like I said, 1 or 2 warm-up sets because my chest is already pretty warm from the bench press, and same with this one, about 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps. So let's get into it. The important thing to do with the incline dumbbell is that you don't want to kind of half rep it, so you don't want to stop the rep out like right here. You want to go all the way down, because the bottom part of the movement here, from here to pretty much the top, that's the most important part of the movement. That's what's really going to grow your upper chest. So once again, leave your ego at the door, okay? Pick a weight that you could do 10 to 12 times, and you really want to get down as deep as you can go and just rep that. Because at the end of the day, if you half rep it, sure, you can lift a lot of weight, but you're not getting benefit out of it. Imagine bringing your elbows together at the top. That'll really help you kind of clue in the mind muscle connection here. So instead of just like, oh, let me just push it up, imagine you're bringing your 2 elbows together at the top of the reps. You're like this, bring them together, and that'll really contract your upper chest. Closer to the end of my chest workout, I like to throw in just an accessory movement. I got my 2 main lifts out of the way, and now I'm gonna throw in an accessory. And for this one, I've never tried it before. It's this cable machine, and I'm hoping it'll give me a good stretch at the bottom. Once again, it's upper chest because I want to prioritize upper chest. And as always, get that stretch at the bottom, explode up. Now when it comes to my back, I don't really have like a set program for it. I mean, I do. I always make sure to incorporate some type of pull down row and like upper back, whether that's a shrug or like an upper back row. But I don't really have like this day I'm gonna do lat pull down, I'm gonna do lat pull over, I'm gonna do single arm row. I don't really do that. I just do whatever I feel like doing. But no matter what I do, it is always some type of row, pull down, pull over, whatever it is. I make sure to hit my lats and my upper back and my traps. And yeah, but I do know one thing for sure. I leave with a sick pump. So let's do it. So that concludes the workout, and I did forget to do one thing at the end, which I've continuously done. It's a repeat that I'm still doing right now, and that is cardio. I have not been doing nearly as much cardio as I should have, and I'm going to contribute that to the main reason why I've not been losing fat and why I'm still on a cut. So it doesn't even have to be like intense cardio, just walking on a treadmill or like jogging, just steady state cardio. It could be on a treadmill, it could be outside, anything to get the heart rate up. I have not been doing it well, and I'm still trying to work on it, but that is why I'm still in a 6-month cut, just because I've not done cardio. So that being said, out of these 4 mistakes, just to list off a few, if you're on a cut, do not repeat these mistakes, because I'm going to contribute the majority of these mistakes to the reason why I've been cutting for so damn long. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you're new around here and you like what I do, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. With that being said, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.